My name is Sheena Devitt and I'm a stone letter carver. I'm from Northern Ireland, but I came over to Scotland in 1985 to do drawing and painting, which I got a lot out of in Edinburgh College of Art, but I always felt when I left college that I wish I'd had more of a design or craft training, just that craft side to making something. And in the 80s, craft was definitely a no-no. Nobody wanted to be associated with it. And then in 2003, I'd been doing calligraphy in night classes for a few years before that, but in 2003 I got a chance to go down to Wales, to mid Wales, and study one-to-one with a master letter carver and do an old-fashioned apprenticeship for 3 years with him. And that's given me a real grounding in a particular craft, which I feel very grateful for having had the chance to do. losing track 6-7, I moved back up to Scotland and just knocked on a few doors and found this space. Well, the guy I rented from helped me make a space within a scrapyard. But it's absolutely grand. It's got a great sound when it rains from the tarp. And just mostly word of mouth and website that bring the jobs in. And I've got a little kiddie, so I just work on a part-time basis at the moment. A huge part of the training was learning to draw letter forms so that you don't need to look at anything. You can recall the letter forms and start to invent your own based on classical forms just from your head. And then you can always look at reference books around you, but I think it's a bit like a classical music education. You need to have all that solid training and then you can improvise afterwards, or it tends to look a bit fuzzy. It gives you, I think for good letter carving you need a real tension in the design for it to have impact, I think, basically. You can see over there, that would be a design that is based on some classical letter forms, but I've adapted it to, for example, it doesn't sit on a straight baseline. The client wanted something quite informal, and some of the letters join up to echo the meanings of the words. So it's a little bit like a jigsaw. You have to keep moving them around. The layout is really important. The layout is just as important as the letter forms, and it's the kind of thing where millimetres matter, so you have to be a bit fussy. I can be quite scattered in my head, and to do letter carving you have to be completely focused, and the combination of that 100% concentration you need and working with a physical material like stone, which is solid anyway, it literally earths me, and I think it just keeps me balanced. And the other aspect I like I love playing around with light. And the difference between, say, doing calligraphy on a piece of paper, or you're still playing with letter forms and shapes and layout, is once you carve them into stone, it's a V-cut which captures the light, especially if you light it from one side. And it's like capturing light in stone. So those two things, I think, are what make me passionate about doing it. And also when you're working for a client, especially if you're doing something like a memorial, when you go through the whole process of working out a design with them at a very poignant time in their lives, and then you go to fix the final piece of work either in their garden or a memorial site, it's a very moving and privileged process to be part of. So yeah, those are the things that make me really love doing what I do, and to be able to learn a living from it is very lucky.